Five, four, three, two, one. We are live. Hello and welcome to PropTechBuzz, a business podcast on global PropTech, where we talk to PropTech founders and CEOs across the globe and learn from them how they build and manage successful PropTech companies. Today, I'm excited to have with me Ashoka Chakravarthi. Ashoka is the co-founder of AgentiChat, an AI startup in real estate tech industry. Agent iChat is a live and automated chatbot built for real estate agents and brokerages. Agent iChat improves your conversion rate and helps you to generate qualified leads from your website and provides 24/7 web support to your clients. Now, as you can see, I have read a template description from their website, but Ashoka is going to demystify what Agent iChat does for us. But before we get Ashoka to and welcome Ashoka on this podcast, I would like to ask all my listeners out here that please hit that subscribe button on YouTube. You know, we have come a long way in the last 5 months, 5 to 6 months. We have reached close to 2,000 subscribers both on YouTube and on Spotify, uh, because of your support, and keep that support coming in, because we know our analytics show that a lot of our listeners are repeat listeners, but not all the repeat listeners have yet subscribed or left a review on Spotify. So please do that so that we our reach is broadened and we reach to more and more people. We had some phenomenal guests in the past, and we have some really exciting guests in the future. Talking about exciting guests, we have Ashoka. Ashoka, welcome to PropTech Buzz. How are you doing today?
Yeah, thanks, Ravi. I'm doing really good, and I'm very glad to be here and share some thoughts and learnings that I've learned so far. And yeah,
Right. So I bumped onto your profile because I follow a lot of PropTech professionals, and somehow you came to my feed, and that's when it piqued my interest, because I've never spoken to anybody who has built an iChat for a chat bot. So I thought you'll make for a very interesting conversation today, and that's why I pulled you in. And thank you for accepting my invite. But before we get into the iChat details, why don't you share a bit about your own story and your career trajectory, and how did it translate into building iChat?
sure. So I did my bachelor's back in Chennai, India, and I moved to Canada in 2017 to pursue my master's. Basically, I'm a civil engineer, very terrible at what I learned, but still I'm working somewhere close to the industry in real estate. So after my graduation, I worked for some other company for a few months, and then I joined a startup where we used to build mobile apps and custom websites for real estate agents and brokerages back in 2019 of August of 2019, and then we did it for like few months, and we had good. Uh, uh,
I'm there. No
oh yeah,
worries.
sure. Sorry, I thought I got disconnected. Yeah,
No.
so we were doing good, and it was we had few deals in the pipeline, and when COVID hit, uh, everything was paused for some time, and as COVID was affecting all other industries, people thought real estate would take a hit as well. So our mobile apps are little expensive when you compare the price to other software they use for real estate. So everybody was thinking twice before they made that purchase, and most of our deals fell through, and including some big brokerages around in Toronto. So we had a situation where either we need to make this mobile app like an affordable software, like a $10 or $20 per month software, or we had to close the business and do something else.
So
Um,
help me understand, which mobile app are you talking about? Are you talking about your iChat?
no, it was a different, whole different platform. Basically, what we do is like we build your own Zillow or Zolo for your brokerage. Let's say if you have your own brokerage, we build a custom mobile app with all the MLS listings and your own uh, custom notifications or custom features that you want, so that you can promote your own app instead of asking your clients to visit other major platforms like Zillow, Zolo, or some other platforms that you're very aware of. So that was a little expensive. As you know, mobile apps are expensive when compared to template websites. So we had few good deals under pipeline, but it didn't go through well. So we had to stop that, and we have to rethink what we are going to do moving forward, because we didn't expect that COVID would be a fortune for real estate, right? So as the mortgage rates went down, people started buying homes one, two more than what they need. So we had to stop that. And around the same time, one of our website client asked us, okay, can you install a free live chat software on my website? And we searched for some platform, and we did it. But I was very curious, and I asked him like, okay, what's the reason behind this live chat? So he started saying like he started some email marketing campaign, and he was expecting some traffic coming into your website, and he wanted to chat with the website just live. I thought it's a good idea because people usually respond faster in their messenger and other platforms like Instagram, WhatsApp, rather than what they receive through emails. So we thought, okay, it's a good idea, and I shared that with my partner, who is my lead developer and who is the guy behind the scenes who builds everything for us. So he said, yeah, that's a good idea. Why don't we build it for real estate agents? And we thought, okay, I need to validate the idea. And I asked him for some time to research about this. And I went out. And as you mentioned, there are like a handful of companies does chat solutions for real estate. And we picked a niche that is very specific for home buyers and sellers. And I went on to all our website clients. We spoke a lot about what they ask the buyers and sellers the first time they meet, like what questions they have. So I have designed the whole chat flow in a flow chart and gave it to my developer, and then we started coding it back in 2020. To be precise, like May 2020, exactly like 3 years back. And then our first version was up and running by end of August, and then we started selling it. And within few weeks I have completely stopped the selling because we thought there are a lot of enhancements has to be done to the product, because uh, the more you speak to your customers, the better you know how the product has to be. And so that's where we stopped the selling and started talking to customers. And then a few months later we launched our product, with the live chat, and then we added the automated response to it as well.
Okay, so let's break this down. All right, so let's talk
Sure.
about the problem space in a little more detail. So, what is the world without chat, and then with chat? Okay, I would like to know the contrast. Okay, without chat, you are saying that the responsiveness in email contacts and stuff like that is slower, because with chat the responsiveness is high, it's immediate. Okay,
Yes.
and the users feel a sense of connection when they talk to somebody live. Am I right, or am I missing
Exactly.
something? Yeah.
No,
Okay.
no, no. You're to the point, but I'll explain in two different ways. So
Yeah.
one from the agent side and the other from the end user side. So when we have the end user's perspective in action, so let's say if you are a buyer and you entered into a real estate website, right?
So
Let's say you entered at
when you say real estate website, what kind of a real estate website? Are you talking about an agent website, or are you talking about a marketplace, or a portal like Zillow you mentioned, or are you
correct.
talking about individual agencies who have their own landing pages that
Exactly. So that's what I was coming to. So basically, every agent here is allowed to have a website for his or her own business. So if you have your own website, you try to market it through different platforms. Could be Google Ads, or your business card, or your listing signboards that you display in front of the home that is for sale. So you are allowed to have your own website, and you're also allowed to promote your brokerage website. Mostly agents promote their own website in bigger sections than their brokerage websites. So this is the website that I've been talking about when I mentioned about website. So this is not like a marketplace or a mobile app that I mentioned. So this is their own website that they show all the listings that are available for sale, and as well as they write about themselves, or their testimonial videos. it's like a personal website, which they call like a online business card here.
But
So
usually, what is the size of these businesses? So the personal, so agencies, is this like a few people working in that agency, or it is an individual person who is running his own business? What kind of an size of the agency are we talking about? The agent we're talking about?
So basically, here the agency is called referred to as a brokerage. So under the brokerage, all these agents are independent contractors where
Got
they
it.
get the real estate license and they hang the license. That's what the term we call here. So could be Remax, could be Home Life or Century 21, any brokerage. So you
Got
get
it.
your license, you're associated with that brokerage,
Got it.
and you get your own domain or you get a company domain from the brokerage, and you
Got it.
can market all the listings from the company and yourself.
Got it. So the website is of the brokerage's website, right? Not the personal agent's website. Am I right? Personal broker.
You can get a free website from the brokerage. Mostly companies do that, but you can also market your own personal website,
Mhm.
which is exactly our ideal customer profile who has their own personal website.
Got it.
So
Okay.
this chat will be installed on their personal website
Got it.
so that
Okay.
it can respond to their leads.
Got
So
it.
when someone enters their website, and this chat will proactively welcome and ask what they're looking for. So if you see from the consumer side, they've been using chatbots in every other industry like telecommunications, banking, or e-commerce. Wherever you see a health sector, they've been adapting chat solutions for years now.
Right.
So when they see a chatbot, they don't usually prefer going to a contact me page, which is a typical way of communication with the agent
Right.
through their websites. So let's say if you entered it at 9 p.m., which at the time you don't want to call the agent. So you have a landing page and you have a chatbot.
Right.
So mostly even our stats and the industry average says that people prefer chatbots anytime over the landing page. So, which is like, as you mentioned, an immediate connection between the agent or, between the business and the user. So when they see a chatbot, if it is a serious lead, like if they're really willing to do some business with the agent, they prefer talking about the chatbot. And one more thing that I would add here is like the user friendliness. So when you see a landing page, when you're browsing over a phone or a mobile, like a tablet, the user friendliness is not there with these landing pages. So when you see a chat, it's way more interactive. You can just chat and ask the questions and it responds accordingly. So that's why you see better conversions with the chatbot. So this is for the customer side where the user friendliness and immediate response is what they look for. And from
Got it.
the agent side, uh, I'm not sure about the real estate websites around the world, but here in Canada and USA, most of them are built in a way that if you want to look more information about the listing, the first listing you can look at without any contact information. Like you don't have to give your email and phone number. But after that, if you don't want to, like if you want to see the second listing, let's say if you want to see another listing in the same area, so they will ask you for the email, right?
Mhm.
So which results in most of the time if they're just browsing around, they'll give you the spam information. So maybe xyz at gmail.com or 100 like 10 digits, they just fill that fits the format and they start visiting your website and browsing all the information. But
Got it.
if you see that realtors back end, they end up having a lot of spam leads as a result of this.
Right.
So that's and spam leads are one of the biggest problems in the industry, and
Right.
agents pay for leads, right? So and if they see spam leads in the back end, that doesn't feel good for the agents.
Right.
And but with the chatbot, what happens is if somebody is engaging with the chat, chances are they're actually looking for something and they're genuine leads because there's nobody out there to entertain the agent just by chatting, right? So and the way the chatbot is built, like agent iChat is built, is it verifies the contact information and it asks the qualifying questions so that the agent later can see if this lead is highly qualified, no matter when they are going to do the business, but it's very qualified.
Got it. Got
So
it.
we are solving two ends here. Like we are providing an interactive solution for the users so that they'll be happy and it's an easy way to get in touch with the agent. And for the agents, they see better conversions with the chatbot as well as more qualified leads coming through the chatbot.
Got it. So you said qualified leads. So does the chat ask them for their contact details? How do you otherwise qualify them?
So basically, we start asking them what they're looking for. The first question would be what kind of lead it is. We categorize it by questions like, okay, are you buyer, seller, rental, and just a home evaluation lead. So after asking that question, so what happens is we start get we collect their information by name, email, and phone number. So we send this contact information immediately to the agent. So that the agent can take over the conversation. So we say, Ravi, here is the buyer lead with this information, and there is a link to chat with them live. So if the agent is free, the agent can take the conversation over, which we always recommend because uh, I would say no AI can replace agent's expertise. Maybe with the data it can do, but with the personal touch, it can never do that job. So we always recommend the agent to take the conversation if they are free. But if the agent is away, we have given few responses based on the user's requirement. For the buyer, we have set of questions that will help them, to submit the request. Same goes with the seller, home evaluation or investing, and other parts of the industry.
Got it. So ever since you introduced this iChat, and you said that you learned more from the customers and you wanted to introduce new functionalities.
Right. Yeah.
So do you want to shed some light on what new functionalities did you
Yeah,
learn?
sure. Yeah, so like I mentioned, we started building it just thinking that this might be the good feature, or this this feature stand out.
Mhm.
And then what happened was we went on to the market with just automated responses, and which was not a good idea because we just assumed a few questions and then we built the chatbot. So after speaking to enough people, they told like, Ashok, I have to check my emails every time to see the leads, right? So then we went on to build a dashboard where they can store the leads. And sometimes they say like, I get the alert, but I don't have the ability to chat with them live. So we added the live chat feature to it. And then the more leads they get, they started complaining about, okay, I need to transfer the leads now. So we
Mm.
started the native integration with their existing CRM. So let's say if they have Salesforce, HubSpot, generic CRM, or any real estate CRM like uh, other major CRMs in real estate, Boss, KVCore, Moxieworks. So we started working on the native integration so that the
Right.
lead will directly fall into their CRM. So
Mm.
all these things happened only when we speak to customers, just not assuming like, okay, this is a good feature. So
Got it.
that would be my suggestion to any founder out there. If you're building out, start talking. Always keep your ears open, and always listen to what your customers has to say.
Excellent. Very, very good advice, a piece of advice there. Um, let's try to understand, when did you launch it? How many months has it been? And what has been your growth and adoption, and what have you been hearing from the market about the adoption of your product?
Sure. So we started coding, like I mentioned, 3 years back, like May 2020, we started, and 2020 August we had the first version, but it was full of loss. So we stopped selling, but we started working on it. And by May 2021, we had a product that we have that is ready to sell. So since then, we have been marketing this to agents across the Canada and USA. And right now we have around um, 12 brokerages, which they have around 7,000 agents under it using our product. And we are the way we work is we sell it to the brokerage and then we implement it to the brokerage agents who are under the brokerage through their webinars and sales trainings. And the adoption rate has been increasing gradually. And yeah, I believe it's going good and will be there in the coming months.
Got it. And so you mentioned that there is a parallel in other industries where these iChats are a common phenomenon, but in real estate, it was not common until you came in, or were there already competitors? I'm sure
Yes, yeah.
competitors catching up. Could you give us a sense of how the competition is today?
Well, I cannot portray myself like we are the inventors of real estate chatbot. There were chatbots, but those were templates from other chat companies. Like, let's say if there is a ABC company that is doing for healthcare or finance, so they had a separate template for real estate. So what we realized was it was not a one size fits all solution for real estate. So I went on and did some research about it. There were a couple of chat companies that are using live agents to respond to website visitors, which is kind of an expensive solution for the brokerages because you need a human to answer the questions, right? So through a live chat. And then I thought, okay, this can be done through AI, which costs them hardly like pennies on dollars, right? So then we did even more research where there are solutions that are too much tailored to real estate, and I didn't find anything. So then I thought, okay, this is a good idea to build. And now I've seen companies, even other companies, started building chat solutions for real estate, but they're too generic. So that's where we stand out. We have different templates for different uh, parts within the industry. For example, if you're a commercial agent that deals with office space or or pure commercial projects, we have questions related to uh, that sector. And same goes with new builds or pre-construction that we call here. And if you are an investor looking for something else, we have the template for you. So we listen to what you say and we build the chatbot according to your needs. And I didn't see a lot of companies doing that for real estate. So that's where we have an edge over other companies.
Nice, nice, cool. So how do you? What's your business model like? How do you monetize? How do you price yourself? Maybe you could
Yes.
shed some light there.
It's a SaaS model like subscription and share service. We have both annual and monthly packages, and our packages depends on the size of the brokerage. So anywhere between 500 to $5,000 a year, and the agents get their special pricing from the brokerages. And
Ah,
we
so
don't charge per lead. Sorry.
yeah, go ahead. You don't charge per lead, is it?
Yeah,
How do you?
so yeah, we don't charge per lead. That's what is helping us to penetrate so much into the market, because the agents with very minimal traffic take some time to see the value from the product. So what we decided is, okay, give them enough time so that they can test the product and see some results. So usually we recommend it to use it for at least 6 to 12 months, and we charge it in a way that, okay, it's very affordable for them, so so that they can just try out and see the results for the whole year, right? And so we are not charging per lead, which most of, or I think almost all other companies do, or we don't charge per messages because it's an built technology. So if you're taking other platform and building something, you have to pay them, so you have to have some margin over it. But as it is completely built in house, so we are not charging per lead, and we are charging only a flat monthly fee. So even if you get 1,000 leads, we you just pay the same amount.
Okay, so you have a flat monthly fee. So there could be two kinds of personas, right? So somebody who is getting a lot of leads and somebody who is new and not getting any leads. A
Yes.
flat monthly fee, would it be fair for you? Like, or do you have like the flat changes into another model when the volume is high or the leads are high?
Not right now. So we wanted to reach a point, and then maybe we can start implementing it. But as of now, we don't have any plans to charge per lead,
Got it.
and that's where we need to, stand out from other companies, like other lead gen companies. So end
Got
of
it.
the day, we are also a lead gen company, and if we apply the same model, I
Right.
think we will have enough competition out there.
Got it. Got it. Okay. So this is this helped you in getting early adoption.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Since this is a business podcast, our listeners are often interested in learning from each other about growth strategies. All right, and
Right.
many of my past guests They've been very generous in giving tips on how to grow a business, especially in real estate. So maybe you could shed some light for the benefit of our other entrepreneurs on what strategies have worked for you, what have you learned the hard way for achieving growth and scale in your business.
Yeah, sure. So from the beginning, we've been trying the traditional sales strategies, like we've been doing cold calling and door knocking. I personally visited so many brokerages. I drive around Toronto to see the brokerages owner in person. So, which is always recommended if you are the founder and if you're doing sales, get out and show what you have. If you have the if your market is like within the place you live, so I always recommend. The second thing is we partner with similar companies in the space. Like we are a chat company, right? We partner with other marketing agencies, website builders, and other real estate coaches. So they kind of evaluate our product, and if they see a good fit, so we have an affiliate partnership program as well. So for any software companies, try to explore affiliate partnerships and referral partner programs if that is applicable. That is also a good channel, and by far the best ROI for me is through conferences and trade shows. So when you attend these conferences and trade shows, you get to meet people that you can never meet easily, or even over a phone call.
Hmm.
So I would highly recommend to attend any conferences related to your market. And so these are all what I have been using and have been working well.
Right.
But other lessons that I have learned is identify your ICP as soon as possible, because the more you narrow down, the more uh, you can make the product better for them, and you can see the results immediately. Because previously we thought, okay, any real estate agent could be our customer. Then later we realized you need a website for a chatbot to install, right? So then half of them gone from that total time. And then after that we realized, okay, so agents need to get some traffic into the website so
Right.
that this chat will work. So later we realized, okay, so they need to have at least a decent traffic coming into the website so that we can show results on their investment on this chatbot. So now our ICP is like any agent with their own website having some decent traffic into the uh, decent traffic coming into the website. So identify your ICP, like ideal customer profile, as soon as possible. And like I mentioned before, always listen to your customers.
Excellent. Nice. How about, so you mentioned a lot of local strategies like door knocking, going to local brokerages, firms, and going to conferences. Primarily these are still local. How do you maximize your reach if you want to say not local, you want to go all the states in the US or maybe outside, right? You never know. I mean, the use cases are the same. Okay, the technology can be,
Right.
so you would want to massively scale, right? So what could be such strategies where it is beyond geographical constraints?
Okay, so I would say, like as I mentioned before, identify few companies that are serving the similar clientele, or similar customers that you have with other companies. For example, we have clients using a software that is based out of UK, right?
Hmm.
So maybe and few other companies that are based out of Australia. So maybe you can find a synergy between these companies, and you can have an affiliate partnership just to open a door for you at that market,
Right.
and then maybe you can expand thereafter. So that's what we've been trying, and I am not sure about other companies how they're reaching out globally, but this is what been working for us, and yeah.
So have you had any successes outside of Canada and US, or Canada and US is keeping you busy because that itself is a huge market, no?
Well, even Canada is keeping me busy, so we are looking to hire somebody from the States who can do the job that I'm doing here.
Got it.
And I believe we can expand this to countries like UK, Australia, and New Zealand, where there is a system similar to MLS, but not exactly MLS. Uh,
Hmm.
but I am open to learn about real estate around the world, where if there is a website, maybe this chat will definitely work.
So so you mentioned about MLS. How is MLS making your chatbot unique? Like what if there is a business geography like Europe? They don't have MLSs. Even India do not have MLSs. How is MLSs adding a constraint to adoption of this technology?
Well, it's not exactly about the MLS. It's about the way you promote your own listings. Or here, what you have is you have MLS, like multiple listing services, where all the listings will be gathered, and then you get that listings into your website, which you can market. But if places like you mentioned, like in India and Europe, you have a handful of marketplaces, right? So where people go and search for properties that are out for sale. So when you have your own website that where you can market all the listings available uh, in that specific neighborhood, maybe you see a benefit of having a chatbot or any other tool, because that platform is controlled by you. Even though that data is not yours, still the platform is controlled by you. So here, if you want to search homes, maybe you will go to your real estate agent website, or some other website that you see out there through other listings, or advertisements. But places like in India and Europe, or other parts of the world. So immediately some app name will pop up in your mind if you want to search for homes. I can't name what the app is, but still, for example, if you want to search homes in Germany, you know what app to search for, right? So do you
Yeah.
know a real estate, like, do you know a real estate agent's website that you want to look for?
Mm,
Chances are like slim to none, right? So that's why if the agent has his or her own website where they market the listings, this chat will be an effective solution. So that's why in UK I don't see that option rate. It's not our mistake, it's not their mistake, but I'm saying the way they operate is quite different from Canada and States. So luckily, as we have enough time within this North America, so we are trying to expand here first.
got
But
it.
if I find somebody who is open to work with the way they are working, like US and Canada, so this will be a good tool.
Excellent. Cool. And so you mentioned how you added new functionalities to your chatbot. Do you still see this space evolving? Are there more opportunities to innovate and disrupt and get better than your competitors, or there is a limit to what you can offer with chatbots?
Well, there is always an opportunity, right? With software, the features are endless. Like Chat GPT and Google Bard making headlines every day. So everybody is turning their eyes towards chat solutions for their businesses, and we are also working on implementing this AIs, like within the chatbot. And I see a great potential with chat solutions. For example, like 20 years before, nobody wants a website, and if you see, half of them have a website now here in like whoever is in real estate here in US and Canada. So I don't see that like it takes 20 years for a chatbot to be a part of their business. Within the next 2 3 years, maybe they will realize like a chat solution is must and should for uh, like a customer service tool on their website. So
Right.
I'm very happy about that. And I'm feeling very optimistic that it will be better. Going forward, it will be better. And we should keep enhancing the product based on the market.
So how will the experience look like? Will it transform drastically from the current experience with introduction of ChatGPT? Like, will it not be a sequential steps and it will be mostly conversational? Is that how you see it?
So within agent iChat or in generic, you say?
Generic and particularly new. Say, if you are exploring the idea to incorporate ChatGPT, how will the experience transform from your
So
existing experience?
so basically, what the plan of implementing ChatGPT within our product is like, there are few questions that our bot cannot answer. Let's say you can say what's the current interest rate here in Toronto, right? So in Canada. So you need the real-time data for it. So let's say if you implement the answer today, and maybe tomorrow Bank of Canada implement a new interest rate, our chatbot, again, we need somebody to implement it manually. But when you have some AI connected real time,
Right.
so it can answer all these questions, and also it can give you an average price in New York or anywhere, that
Hmm.
because it's all real time, right? So that's what we are thinking. But we also have to connect in a way that is useful for agents as well, because here you are serving only the end users who are visiting the website. If we see a way where it can be benefit, like it can be a benefit for both home buyers and sellers and the agents, then we'll definitely implement as soon as possible.
Excellent. Cool. My next question is on the journey. So it's been around 3 years of business of selling agent iChat. For every entrepreneur, running a startup is always a roller coaster ride, right? So for
Yeah.
you, I'm sure it has not been all rosy. So could you shed some light on what were the highs and low points in this journey?
Sure. Like highs, like you see a lot of highs and lows within a short interval within the same day, right? Not even you don't have to go within weeks or months. In the same day, you see a lot of highs and lows. But my high would be the first, when you get your first paying customer. I think it will be the same for any entrepreneur. If you ask this question, they would say one of the answers would be first paying customer.
First paying
And
customer is very delightful, isn't it? Because that's the validation
yeah,
of what you have built. Somebody's because
exactly.
people, I mean, all the customer interviews, people can say great things about it, but somebody has to pay out money from their wallet. That is the real
Right.
test of the value we are offering, isn't it?
Exactly. So we had 30 free users before we got the first paying customer.
Hmm.
I'm glad that it's only 30 for me, but there are companies, they gave out like hundreds and thousands of subscribers, free software or free trial, and then they wait for the first paying customer.
Hmm.
So it will be always, I think, a special moment when you get the customer to pay for your software.
Correct.
And when my clients say like, Ashok, I got a buyer lead that I recently closed from your chatbot, or a seller lead that generated X amount of dollars. So that is also a real happy moment for me, because the ROI is you know huge with our software, right? So the
Hmm.
average deal size would be 15 to 20,000 dollars here. So mm, when you compare the ROI, it's 100 times more than what they're paying for the software. So I'm very happy about it. And yeah, if you talk about lows, yeah, as you mentioned, roller coaster, like still going, and so you try to, you try not to take personally when someone is being too honest or too harsh about your product, but still it takes some time to heal from that. Maybe they're saying it for your good, or they don't like what you're doing, but still, you try not to take it personally. But initially, it was very tough, because we didn't have any business background within my family, or my, what you call, like, first generation entrepreneur.
Hmm.
So my dad worked for government, still working for government, and we don't have any business background.
Hmm.
And so when you move to like new country, and you start business right after your graduation, it's kind of hard to uh, keep up with the market, because they are too honest, and I wouldn't say brutal, but they're too honest sometimes. So, and it's hard to uh, take it like a light version. So, and some of the other things is like, I'm financially so behind when you compare with the people that moved to Canada with me around the same time. But this is a choice that I made. You need to know what else I have to do. I need to keep going with a smile on the face. So that's, but yeah, uh, so far so good. I think we'll be here for some more time.
No, this is very important. Let's double down on this, because there are other founders who are listening to this, and they would like to take inspiration from your journey. So you are saying you don't come from business background, okay? You went to Canada for higher studies, am I right?
Yes.
And then you come from middle class background, so your parents must be expecting that you get a good job.
Yeah, well, they're happy that I'm doing what I'm loving and I like to do. But mostly the end of the day, yeah, that's what they expect, right? Good,
Yeah,
good.
now they must be seeing some success. But when you began,
Yes.
were they okay with this idea when you said that, hey, I'm not going to be getting any stable income for the next 2 years? Okay,
Uh,
I'm going.
yeah, I told the same thing exactly. So, like, don't expect anything from me for the next 2 years, and I'm still saying the same thing. So that 2 years have been expanding, doubling down. But yeah, I've been blessed with a supportive family and good friends who've been investing in me for all these years. But I can definitely say that it's not an easy, or it's not a common thing, particularly with our background, right? So when you move to Canada, the immediate thing after they expect, after the graduation, they expect is a high paying job,
Right.
6 figures to be precise, and then a permanent residence here in Canada or any other country that you move in, and then a stability in life. Because it's not the parents, it's about people around them who are expecting more than the parents, right? So they start comparing with the people who moved to the same places, right? So, and I'm, like I mentioned, I'm so far behind them. And I would say, like, if you're into the same path, don't worry. Yeah, you're not uh, like alone out there. We have many doing the same thing, but it's an exciting journey. You don't regret if you're in the right path.
Mm. The other question that I had was, you do not come from business background. What were the what pushed you then? What were the influences? Like, were you inspired by other entrepreneurs? Why did you go the entrepreneurial way instead of taking up a job? Like,
So the reason why I moved to Canada is to, like I mentioned, I completed my master's in civil engineering. So I wanted to be a civil engineer, and like I mentioned, earn some good money for 2 3 years, go back home and start my own construction company.
mm,
But during my master's, we had a course that is like technology entrepreneurship. So I almost failed in all other 6 or 7 subjects that I had. It's just like the pass marks, but I got very good grade in this technology entrepreneurship course, because it was so live, and I really enjoyed doing that course. And
mm,
I still just, talk to my professor who took that course. So then I realized, okay, this is what I might be enjoying going forward. So then I thought, okay, then I don't know where to start. So I started applying for startups around real estate space, and then from there, I'm never worried about the real estate of like the civil or construction side of it.
right.
But that course really helped me, put the bug inside me for entrepreneurship.
Got it. And how do you, like, if the thing is, if you are new as an entrepreneur, there are some mindsets, right? So that means you said that you need to go and knock different doors of local brokerages to sell your product, and you have never been a seller before. Help
No.
me understand your experience as a seller, and especially you're a non-native. You are, and primarily all brokerages are run by natives. Okay. uh, so here comes an Indian guy who has built something and then knocking on the doors. What's the experience early on when you did not know how to sell? So maybe that experience will be really nice to know.
Yeah. So yeah, it's funny that most of them realize within the first 2 seconds of my pitch that this guy don't know anything about sales, right? So it was very often back then, and so they forget about the sales pitch, and they ask, okay, what you got? Just tell me what you got. Forget about all those selling lines. Then I
A-
started explaining, okay, so this is what we have.
and they say this out of kindness, because they say that, okay,
Yes,
this guy is struggling, okay, but he seems very genuine, sincere, and nice.
yes.
Let's help him out. What do you have to sell? Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, so that was a quite common response for me back then. And but I'm good at one thing. I'm very curious, and I always educate about the things out there. So I've been learning more about sales, how sales strategies work, reading books about sales,
Hmm.
and then I started implementing the same thing. Half of them don't work, but the other half do work.
Hmm.
So you keep learning from the mistakes that you do. But as you mentioned, I've met so many generous and kind people during this journey, and they also gave so many suggestions like this. So when an agent, let's say, didn't buy the product, I asked them, okay, what do you think is missing in my sales pitch, or what do you think is missing in my product, right? It has to be one of those, or else the price, which is another whole different topic. So
Right.
then I used to take that feedback and implement it to the next customers. So that has helped me a lot. And yes, so you have to keep educating about what you're doing, so that will definitely add value going.
So for somebody who has got an excellent product, the product should sell by itself. Is there a truth to it? Like it actually helps for a non-seller or a sales guy or an entrepreneur without sales background to have a really solid product, because the product will sell it for itself.
Yeah, well, it depends on how you project the product, right? So if you just sit at your home and think that it can be a product that can sell it by itself, maybe for B2C it works, but for B2B, from my experience, you have to go, because here in real estate or in any other industry, I would say people buy from people that you know, or that you trust, and that's 100% um, true with this real estate tech. So
Mm.
they might have a similar product, they might use a very old product, but because they just know the founder, right? So
Mm.
that has happened. So I have seen broker owners saying, okay, I'm using this product just for the just because I know the owner, right? Or I know the uh, the founder.
Right.
So that's true, that's but it's not that you cannot sell without going out there. But I would highly recommend, if you are in an industry similar to us, where it's still heart to heart, like people sell homes, like meeting people. So you have to do the same thing while selling your product.
Got it. So help me understand your mindset. So when you were selling before, your first sales, uh, and today, is selling comfortable now? Like, is it easy for you to just pick up the call and do cold calling, cold selling, or
Yes,
it is
yes.
as difficult as it was before? So help me understand how it has changed for you.
Yes, so the whole selling strategies and the problem for me to sell changed when I identified their problem. Like when you know what their problem is, and sometimes they don't know what the problem itself is. Right? For me, in my case, they used to say like, okay, I don't get any traffic, or I don't see any leads coming from my website. So how can this be an advantage to my business? So then I ask them questions like, do you have you seen how many visitors you got into your website? Do you have Google Analytics connected to your website? So
Right.
this will make them to think about what they're doing. So when you ask right questions, and when you know what the problem is, and if you provide a solution to that problem with your software or with your product, I think sales will definitely uh, easy. I would say not 100%, but still, that sales won't be your problem.
Got it.
And you have to have your own charm to sell as well.
Got it. And you have bootstrapped this all through, or did you have to raise some
Yeah,
money?
we've been completely bootstrapped from the beginning. It doesn't mean that I'm against fundraising, but so far we have built it bootstrap.
Very nice, very nice. And what does the next couple of years look like for you?
So right now we shifted our focus directly to brokerages. We stopped selling to the agents. Uh, so our brokerages sales cycles are a little higher, but we see a good ROI from our brokerages. So for the next 2 years, we'll be marketing this to brokerages across all states in USA, and we in Canada as well. And we are also working on few other ideas. We also recently launched a plugin for real estate websites, which makes the website accessible for home buyer and seller with any disabilities. For example, if you have dyslexia, or if you have color blindness, our plugin can help to browse their website easily. So we are building on some other plugins where they can be an add-on to the websites.
But help me understand, why are you building this? Because there would be a small minority, no? What is the mission? What is the passion behind building plugins for disabilities or minorities, which might not be a big market for you?
Well, I felt it like a social responsibility. If I could do that, why not, right? So maybe I can generate a very less revenue when we compare to chatbot. But when you see a real problem, and if you could help that with your software, so we thought we had some good sessions about it, or how we are going to do it, and then we realized, okay, if we want to do it, we can. We should help people with the way, or however we can. It's
Got
not
it.
like a revenue, what you call like revenue channel for us, but still we felt like it's a social responsibility, so we started building it.
Got it. Help me understand the buyer behavior of brokerages. So, how do brokerages decide on investing in new technology? Like, do they have a budget for, say, hey, let's go to this conference, let's try to upgrade our technology with regards to how the competitors are doing? Is
Right.
this how it is? Like every year they have a budget and they go look out and scout for new technologies and new players and new startups? Is that how it is?
Yes. Usually they do it end of the year, like December of like every year, to invest in what softwares they are going to use for the next year, and they have all these tech summits and conference or trade shows where they get to know about new technologies. But one of the questions that I ask the brokerages is like, what's your investment on any software for last year, and what's your ROI on it, right? So when you show the ROI, um, it's an easy sale, right? So you can, if you are spending $1 and you get like $5 out of it, it's no brainer for the brokerage, and that
Mm.
has been a very good tactic. I would say that's working out for me. And when you show the ROI, or at least the potential ROI, with the brokerages that already got that, it will be an easy sale.
Excellent. Cool. Well, this brings us to the end of a very, very exciting conversation, worthwhile conversation. I learned a lot about how chatbot works, what's the dynamic behind the buying behavior, what's the problem that it is trying to solve in the market. And Ashok, thank you for sharing with us your wealth of knowledge and wisdom that you accumulated in a hard way, building a business from scratch and learning along the way. And today you are poised to grow across all the states in the US. So very, very happy to see your journey, and very curious to see where you go from here. And then maybe in a year or two, we have you back again to continue the
Sure.
story and share with us the narrative of the next wave of growth, and hopefully very, very proud and happy parents at that time as well.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Ravi. Thanks for giving me this opportunity to be on your podcast. And I've been listening to your podcast as well during my workout sessions. I've seen like, I don't want to reveal those guests that you have mentioned from Square Yards or other companies, but I hope it will be an exciting podcast for anyone who is listening.
Thank you so much, Ashok.